All right, everybody. I hope everybody is having a great day. Um, got my book. All right, let's do this. So, what I'm just going to do is go over the bookwork, basically go over the activities we would have gone over in class if we had class. So, let me share my PPT. All right, here we go. Hope everybody had a great Chuseok. All right, so it is Thursday, September 19th. All right, what are we going to do? We are just going to go over some activities from the book. And I need to make 37 and a half minutes worth of video. So I'm going to make two videos. So I'm going to make this video. And this video, of course, is just going to cover homework, stuff from the book. Then I'm going to upload another video, and that's about a writing tip, how to use direct or indirect quotes. And since your first essay is a comparison essay about yourself, and your second essay is a narrative essay, which is a story about yourself, it's highly probable that you will actually use quotes in your essays because maybe you're talking about people in your life and things they've maybe told you. And so that's going to be the topic of the second video. Anyways, let's begin this one. And I apologize for the brightness to my right. This is a window and it's bright outside. And even though my curtains are closed, my curtains are so thin. So it looks really shiny. So if it hurts your eyes, I sincerely apologize. Let's do this. All right. So this was homework that you most likely did and submitted, I think, for last class. So we just ran out of time. We didn't get to it. So I got my book here. All right. So this essay is not a comparison essay. What type of essay is this? It's actually a cause and effect essay. But since it's the beginning of the semester, it's good to just read essays, get back in the mindset, even though this is not a comparison essay. So I assume that you had no problems with these post-reading questions on page 11. Normally, I would just have you quickly compare your answers with your partner, uh, but I assume that you had no problem with these questions. But like I said, this is a cause and effect essay. Now, let's take a look at the thesis statement. Because when I read this book or the book in Composition 1, if you've taken Composition 1, you know there are occasions when I point out inconsistencies or problems with the book. So in this lecture, there's a couple things I want to point out because there are some kind of mistakes in the book. So here's a thesis statement. By eating better, exercising regularly, and staying out of the sun, people can reduce the risks of getting cancer. Is that direct or indirect? We all should know that is clearly direct. It tells us not only topic of the essay, but the topic of each body paragraph. And keep in mind, you have to write a direct thesis statement for your comparison essay. All right, so what are the topics of the body paragraphs? As we can see, they're gerunds. They're verbs turned into nouns. So eating better, body paragraph 1. Exercising regularly, body paragraph 2. Staying out of the sun, body paragraph 3. What are these 3 things? These are 3 things people can do to reduce the risks of getting cancer. So this is cause and effect. Are these 3 causes or effects? Eating better, exercising regularly, staying out of the sun. Are those causes or effects? Causes. Causes to reduce risks of getting cancer. Okay, keep that in mind, because that's where I found a mistake. Okay. So here's the thesis statement. Let's look at the topic sentences. This is the thesis statement you just saw on the previous slide. Like we said, 3 ways, 3 causes of reducing cancer or the risks of getting cancer. Let's take a look at the topic sentences. Body paragraph 1, BP1, body paragraph 1. Instead of foods that are good for them, people often eat unhealthy foods, such as burgers, fries, and pizza. So that's on page 9. So this is from the book. This is from the essay on page 9 and 10. So page 9, body paragraph 1, that's the thesis statement. I'm sorry, topic sentence. Body paragraph 2, topic sentence. Many people today are overweight, and being overweight has been connected to some kinds of cancer. Body paragraph 3, topic sentence. Finally, health officials are concerned about the dramatic rise in the number of cases of skin cancer. All right, beautifully well-written topic sentences. They tell us, the reader, what this essay is about. But read them and then think, do these 3 topic sentences describe causes or effects? If you said effects, you are 100% correct. So the thesis statement does not match the topic sentences or the body paragraph ideas. What is the topic of the thesis statement? Ways to reduce cancer. Causes of reducing cancer. Ways to reduce cancer. All right. What is the topic of the topic sentences? Causes of cancer. So it looks like diet, being overweight, and that's just general. In fact, I would say body paragraph 3 topic sentence isn't even that clear, because the supporting sentences make it sound like being out in the sun is a cause of cancer. But anyways, as we can see, the first 2 clearly, the topic sentences clearly communicate causes of cancer. This one, it's kind of vague. I think that should be rewritten. Supporting sentences are about being out in the sun, being exposed to the sun, another cause of cancer. Anyways, ways to reduce cancer. If you just read that thesis statement, you're thinking the body paragraphs are about how do people reduce the risk of cancer. But then as you immediately jump to the topic sentence of body paragraph 1, it's confusing. Whoa, the topic sentence says this is about causes of cancer. So, of course, um, of course, the problem is the problem isn't the body paragraphs. Clearly, this essay is supposed to be about the causes of cancer. The problem is the thesis statement. So the writer should not rewrite the body paragraphs. They should just rewrite the thesis statement so it matches the body paragraphs. How can we do that? How could you rewrite the thesis statement so it more clearly conveys the main topic of the essay, causes of getting cancer? So as we can see here, these are 3 ways to prevent cancer. How could you rewrite this? So just take Take 1 minute. Okay, take 1 minute. Think about it. I'm just going to mute my mic and stop my video. Take a minute. How can you rewrite the thesis statement so it conveys causes of cancer? All right. So I'm sure you have a good one. Here's one. Eating bad, being physically unfit, and not protecting one's skin in the sun are 3 main causes of getting cancer. Now, that completely matches because eating bad, that's the topic of body paragraph 1. Let's go back to the topic sentence. Instead of foods that are good for them, people often eat unhealthy foods such as burgers, fries, and pizza. So now the thesis statement actually matches the body paragraph topics. Now it's good. Before was not good. You can say coherence is lacking, but I think it's bigger than that. It's just there's structural inconsistencies with key parts of the essay. The thesis statement, topic sentences always should match. So, what I want you to encourage you to do is when you read essays in the book or reread your essays, or when you're doing peer review, try to look for those any inconsistencies. All of you, trust me, have very good reading comprehension skills. And in this class, since it's writing, you can use those skills to see what may work well or what doesn't work well, trying to identifying inconsistencies, weak parts that you can correct if it's your own essay or if it's your classmate's essay, if you're doing peer review. Or if you find anything in the book, let me know. I don't catch everything. So anyways, that's a problem. I wanted to point it out so you can understand and maybe learn from it. All right, let's move on to the introduction. So, as you know, we have a hook, we have connecting information, we have a thesis statement. So, in the United States, this is the hook, this is on page 9. In the United States, lung cancer kills more people in 1 year than all other types of cancer combined. What is the technique, the hook technique? Shocking statistic. And they even say that in the next word. This statistic is shocking, but the good news is that people are now well informed about the risks connected to lung cancer. They know that the risk of contracting this terrible disease decreases if they either stop smoking or do not smoke at all. Now, is this essay about lung cancer in particular? No, it is about cancer. So the hook and the thesis statement does overlap a little bit. But this essay is not specifically just about lung cancer or about this crazy statistic. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said about other types of cancer. Many people are not aware that their everyday behavior can lead to different forms of cancer. By eating better, exercising regularly, and staying out of the sun, people can reduce the risks of getting cancer. But like we said, the reworded thesis statement that we made is better. Eating bad, not getting enough exercise, and being exposed to the sun are causes of getting cancer. Okay, but anyways, for the sake of this activity, we can use the original thesis statement, even though it's not really correct. It doesn't really match the top. So over here, we have a shocking statistic as the hook. Somewhere in the connecting information, the writer transitions from that to causes of cancer, if it's correct, or the thesis statement they have are ways to reduce cancer. So there are 6 sentences where Does the writer make that transition? That's 5 seconds. Mm-hmm. Right there, I'd say. So, statistic, statistic. Still talking about the statistic indirectly. Then, unfortunately, we're starting to get right over that hump. The same cannot be said of the oh, many people are not aware. Then it leads right into the thesis statement. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. I always think when I create slides, especially for recorded lectures, but also for class, I always feel like I never have enough slides when I always have way too many slides. I wasn't sure how long this video is going to go. It's already 16 minutes. This one video might be 37 minutes. Holy cow. I thought it was going to be like 20. All right. Anyways, here's another essay from the book, pages 12 to 13. This one's a comparison essay. So this is like a model example of the exact type of essay writing. Now take a look. Take a look at that title. Look at how it's punctuated. When you see that, you should be like scratching your chin like something's wrong. Because you know how to punctuate titles. And do you punctuate coordinating conjunctions? Do you capitalize coordinating conjunctions? Rural is an adjective. So just always make sure when you read your title, or let's say you're doing peer review, quickly read it, make sure it's correct. All right. So this essay is comparison essay. And then, of course, we already read the introduction in class a couple weeks ago. And so we already probably know what this essay is about. It's about the differences between urban and rural life. All right, differences between urban and rural life. Now, if we just take a glance again at the thesis statement, perhaps some of the most notable differences in the lives of these two groups include the degree of friendliness between residents, the pace of life, and the variety of available activities. Like I mentioned in class, your comparison essay can focus on differences only, similarities only, mix of both. If we just read the thesis statement, we know instantly, okay, thesis statement only mentions differences. That means there cannot be similarities in the body paragraphs, just differences. All right. Again, I don't think we really need to go over these questions. It's more about comprehension. If we're in class, I'll probably ask you to take a minute, but there's no reason to waste time here. But I did give you a handout. So, and I want to create these handouts because it makes you think about the essays in a different way, on a maybe deeper level. So, for example, this is from the handout I gave you. Let me see if I can share my screen. If I have it, okay. I'll find it. The Analyzing Essay 3, the Urban and Rural Divide one. So this is the one I'm going over now, just in case you forgot. This one right here. So the PPT is covering this handout right now. All right. Okay. So, man, you've probably heard me a million times in the spring semester in Composition 1. Questions are more informal because they're conversational, and they're rhetorical because you're never actually going to get a response from your readers. So what we would like to do is get in the habit of making statements, because questions are kind of colloquial and a more everyday, less formal style of communicating, whereas I want you to get in the habit and learning the skills, just writing strong statements because it sounds really good in English. And it's strong, formal. That's what's good. So, which of these last two places is more different from Tokyo? We talked about this as part of the hook. Many people might mistakenly choose Cairo because it is not found in Japan. Now, I think this is a decent question, even though, like I said, I don't want you to use questions in your hook or questions anywhere, but not in the hook either, because I want you to practice using the other techniques. Because I think asking questions, you might end up just automatically choosing a pretty basic, non-creative question. So you already did this activity, so you don't need to take time to do it. Now here's one way. Oh yeah, I think I wrote this in the handout. You can start it. Many people might mistakenly think what? So if we had to replace this, get rid of that question. Many people might mistakenly think what? Cairo is what? Cairo is more different from Tokyo than a rural Japanese town because it is not found in Japan. So all we did is we just summarized what the writer meant by this question, because the writer is asking this question although they already know the answer. They're not asking the question because they don't know. Like if I ask you, um, what movies are playing at CGV right now? I literally don't know. So I want you to tell me. That's not what the writer's doing with this question. With this question, the writer already knows the answer. It's a rhetorical question. So they're asking the question to make a point. So which of these last two places different? So many people might mistakenly think it is more different from Tokyo than a rural Japanese town because it is not found in Japan. Sounds really strong, not conversational, more formal sounding. Okay, so now imagine life in Tokyo, Japan. Now imagine life in a rural Japanese town. Finally, picture life in Cairo, Egypt. Many people might mistakenly think Cairo is more different from Tokyo than rural Japanese town because it's not fun. However, okay, so all we did is we just replaced the question with a statement. Now, it's very natural to ask questions in your everyday conversation and communication with people, whether it's text messaging, talking to people in person. When you're writing your essay and it's supposed to be formal, proofread, read over your essay again, and sometimes you might catch, oh, I accidentally, naturally, unconsciously wrote a question. Try to reword it into a statement. All right, moving along. Okay, so, we went over the introduction a couple times now. So what goes first? D, the reader's concept. Tokyo, Japan, Cairo. Then people's mistaken view. Then similar lifestyle of people who live in big cities. Differences between city and urban living. Thesis statement. Okay. All right. Oh yeah. Okay. So I created these questions because, like we talk about depth, you should focus on depth and not breadth. When you introduce a main point, make sure you support it so the reader can clearly understand what you mean. Don't assume that the reader can read your thoughts and read your mind and they know exactly what you mean. So you always want to explain yourself. My opinion is it's better to over-explain yourself and be very clear than to not be clear enough. So in paragraph 2, the writer states, these urban apartment dwellers tend to be wary of unknown faces and rarely get to know their neighbors well. Okay, now this is about degree of friendliness. That's the point of body paragraph 1, paragraph 2. And I wanted you to add 1 or 2 sentences. Now let's real quickly go, oh, hold on. Go to, I just created a document. This is body paragraph 1. body paragraph 2, body paragraph 3. Let's outline this very quickly, okay? And let's just visually see how deep these body paragraphs are. So this is the, of course, topic sentence. This first sentence, and I'm just gonna. So that is the topic sentence. One major difference between growing up in the city and in the country is the degree of friendliness. All right, now, to maintain coherence, the writer should talk about the city first, urban, then countryside should be second. There always wants to be consistency. Okay, sure enough, in large cities. Sounds good. Okay, so I'm just gonna go up here, and these are called bullet points. What is that in Korean again? Amho or something? Oh, this is the English version. Is it Amho? I can't remember. But anyways, these are bullet points. Now, I don't care, there's only one way to create, choose your bullet points. I just chose the default. So that is number one. Now, just so you know, if you want to go back all the way to the left side, like what I did there, I just hit Shift Tab. Shift Tab brings you back one level. So, okay. So in large cities, residents often live in huge apartment buildings with hundreds of strangers. Okay. Okay, now the second sentence. Is that two or a? Two, a, two, and I'm gonna actually change it just for capital A. Okay, in large cities, residents often live in huge apartment buildings with hundreds of strangers. Very general. And just remember, general to specific. These urban apartment dwellers, I would say A. These urban apartment dwellers tend to be wary of unknown spaces and rarely get to know their neighbors well. Okay. The situation in a small, okay, we've already changed subjects. So of course that's not B. Of course it's 2. Okay. The situation in a small town is just the opposite. Boom. Small town people generally, it should say, grow up together, attend the same schools, and share the same friends. As a result, okay, that's like a connector. So as a result, rural people are much more likely. As a result refers to A. So it's probably like that. Okay, now, as you can see here, sure, this is a clear example of a comparison essay, that the book gives. However, there's almost no depth. I mean, very little depth. 1 and 2, these sentences just introduce the subjects. And so really for this topic, degree of friendliness, this is like really the only sentence that has like really some substance when it's describing urban living. So that's what I wanted you to do. I wanted you to somehow get deeper, add some depth. Or, I mean, you could even go here. Doesn't matter to me. But just, I want you to get in the mindset that when you write your essay, you want to make sure that you really are telling the reader in detail what you mean. This is different than text messaging your friends. When you text message your friends know you so well. You don't have to add the details. And you don't even need to make complete sentences. They know you. So you can have effective, successful communication with your friends, leaving out the details. When you're writing an essay, don't make the assumption that your readers know exactly what you know. So what you should do, rather than assuming that, tell them what you mean. And that means adding the details, adding the depth. That's what I want you to practice in this class. Because if you can do that, if you know that skill, you can easily write about a lot of different ideas superficially in a shallow level. A, I think it takes a more developed skill to write in depth and to support your ideas. So if you can do that, uh, that more developed advanced skill, you can do the less advanced skills. So less developed skills. So, okay, these urban apartment dwellers tend to be wary of unknown spaces and rarely get to know their neighbors well. What can you write there? Well, imagine, I think a lot of us who are watching, who are in our, you, me, I live in Seoul. A lot of you probably live in Seoul. So this is very relatable to us. So, for me, maybe describe, um, walking past neighbors in the hallway, you know, without saying hi, um, something like that. Like these urban apartment dwellers tend to be wary of unknown spaces. For example, for example, it is not uncommon for next door neighbors in an apartment walk past each other in hallways without even saying hi. Then we can probably even maybe, what does that mean? Maybe expand on that a little bit. So that was the goal of this activity. And let's just take a look here. Again, topic sentence. Sorry, excuse me. Another difference is the pace of life. Okay. In the city, life moves very quickly. The streets reflect this hectic pace and are rarely empty even late at night. City dwellers appear to be racing to get somewhere important. Period. That I did dictation, so I said period, but it actually wrote the word period. Okay. I would say like life. I think it's probably like that. In the country, life is much slower. Even during peak hours, traffic jams occur less of. It's probably there. It seems like maybe none of these are actually more specific support of the one before. But okay, life for them. So for the next question, you are supposed to add something here. Life for them tends to be a series of deadlines. Okay, some people, some readers might not know series of deadlines. What type of deadlines? So here would be a great spot to add some details. If you've lived in the city, which I think probably most of you have, maybe I'm assuming most of you already do right now. What kind of deadlines do people living in the city have? It could be work deadlines, paying bills, um, could be paying your utility bills or management fees in an apartment. It could be um, so many things, racing your kids to Hagwons, living in the city, bringing your kids to sports, extracurricular activities, so many things. So adding those details adds color to your essay and it makes your communication much clearer. So that is awesome. Okay, real quickly, let's go through this. I'm just gonna Go to switch. Start to go along here. There are different lies in the way people are able to spend their free time. Okay. Boom. Uh, although, oops. Although life in the city has trouble, state of life. For example, they can go to museums. Okay. Activities available, however, much more limited. Period. It is rare. Museums, concert tours almost never. Finally, people enjoy shopping. Yeah. Okay. So I forgot what my question was here. Life for them tends to be the activities are much more limited. Oh, yeah. Um, yeah, do you notice that? Okay, yeah, I when I read this, I thought that the writer didn't do a very good job. Because as you can see here, this essay is not good or bad. This essay is not saying urban is better than rural or rural is better than urban. It's it's objective. This essay is objective. It should not be subjective. It should not say urban is better than rural. If you read the thesis statement, that's not what it says. The thesis statement is objective. So it's kind of unusual here that the writer only kind of focuses on the negative, like the insufficient activities in rural areas. Because all the writer does is talk about things that are not in rural areas, which I thought was kind of uh, it it like it's not consistent. There's something's missing because I think there are wonderful things, wonderful activities in rural areas. Nature, um, that's the main one, and so to me, I I like going to rural areas sometimes because there are cool things. So I think that the writer should have included those things. So like what are activities people can do in rural areas? Well, they can go camping, they can go fishing, they can go stargazing. So that's my point here. We want to have balance because this body paragraph feels a little unbalanced because it seems like the writer suddenly became biased in favor of the city more. And it's the writer focus on quantity of activities and not quality or like because some people might think rural areas are much better. So anyways, just wanted to point that out. Whoa, gosh, I'm sorry for rambling. Oh my gosh, we need to wrap this up. Okay. Right, more specific. Yeah. Again, you've seen this slide a million times. Um, when we looked at the outline I just showed you, it was like it was like between one and two, all three body paragraphs. We want to get to at least three. Okay. Here's a writing tip. We talk about this in composition one. One creative writing technique is to reinsert, or just I guess insert your hook idea into the conclusion. This helps to remind the reader of how the essay started in a creative way. Now, the hook idea in this essay is comparing Tokyo, rural Japanese town, Cairo. All right, boom. Okay, so in the conclusion, let's change it. So right now, that's the beginning of the conclusion. Life in urban areas and life in rural areas vary in terms of human interaction, pace of life, and daily activities. All right, they summarize. Basically, it's a restated thesis statement. None of these differences makes. So that's a good restated thesis statement. Okay, what we want to do is after that restated thesis statement, let's, or actually here, before the restated, doesn't matter, you can put it before the restated thesis statement, after. So here's an idea. Many people, so imagine if the conclusion started like this. Many people may incorrectly believe that Tokyo is more similar to a rural Japanese town than Cairo, an urban Egyptian city, because they mistakenly believe that all cities in a particular country are quite similar, regardless of size. We basically just paraphrase the idea that the writer conveyed in their hook. However, boom, life in urban areas. So that's the same sentence here. We just have the restated thesis statement. However, life in urban areas, not done. You can continue and complete the rest of the conclusion. Sounds really good when you can reinsert or insert your hook idea into the conclusion. All right. Now, subject by subject, point by point. Which method does the writer use in this urban and rural divide? They use point by point. Yep. You choose whichever one you want. Okay, I'm just going to go through this very quickly because this video is already long enough. So sorry that I'm going to go a little faster, or maybe I should say I'm sorry that I went so slow or been taking my time. Okay, this is a comparison essay. Look at the title right away. If you read that title, something's wrong. Yes. Okay, all countries are unique. Now this is on page 72. This is the introduction. It's comparing Brazil and America. Now, all countries are unique. Obviously, countries are different from one another in location, size, language, government, climate, and lifestyle. Seems like an observation. I don't know. This hook is average at best. Some countries, however, share some surprising similarities. In this case, Brazil and the United States come to mind. Some may think that these two nations have very little in common because they are in different hemispheres. On the contrary, the two countries share many similarities. Okay, if we look at this thesis statement, we know that this essay only focuses on similarities. And as you can see, the writer introduces Brazil first. Makes sense that throughout the essay, the writer goes Brazil, United States. All right, now, as we know, the hook is about just a general observation, not about America or Brazil. So, where does the writer make that transition? Here, like basically it starts here, some countries, in this case, Brazil and the United States. All right. So just keep in mind, there are two ways to write a direct thesis statement. With a colon, the lives of these two groups include some notable differences. Colon, the degree of friendliness between residents, the pace of life, and the variety of available activities. This is the thesis statement from the previous essay, Urban-Rural Divide. This is direct. I can't remember if I mentioned this slide. After the colon, this is not a complete sentence. We're just listing noun phrases, so don't capitalize this word. Without a colon, some of the most notable differences in the lives of these two groups include the degree. Okay, either one. Both convey the same exact idea. It's a matter of style. Okay, I didn't mention that. Okay, so just remember, after a colon, if you have a complete sentence or an independent clause, capitalize the first word. If it's just a list, an incomplete sentence, don't capitalize the first word. All right. Yep. Okay. Just mention that. Okay. Yeah. As you can see, page 72. On the contrary, the two countries share many similarities. It's Indirect. We want direct. So how can we make that direct? Well, okay. On the contrary, the two countries share many similarities. Take a look on page 73. What is the first point? So there are 3 points of comparison in this essay. What's the first one? One important similarity between Brazil and the United States: size. Body paragraph 2, diversity of the population. Body paragraph 3, individualism. So we need to somehow put those 3 things here: size, diversity, individualism. On the contrary, the two countries share many similarities: size. On the contrary, the two countries are both large: diversity. On the contrary, the two countries are both large. Okay, what's the adjective? This is large as an adjective. What's the adjective of diversity? Diverse. Oh, sorry. And individualism. Okay. Now let's complete this one. Are both large, are diverse. Individualism. Noun. What's the adjective? Istic. And are individualistic. Okay. Now we have a direct thesis statement. That's what I want you to get in the habit of writing in this class. As you can see, size is not capitalized because after the colon, it's not a complete sentence. And as you can see here, R. You can keep all 3 R's, or you can keep just the first one. Either all 3 or just the first one. Both sentences mean exactly the same thing. It's a difference of style, not meaning. Now, here's less words, so I would probably go with that one, but either one. Okay. If you have any questions about the post-reading questions, let me know. Okay, you are writing, you are creating an outline for your essay. So here's an outline. This is just on activity 3. Page 75. Title, not as different as one would think. Hook, maybe you just copied and pasted. Okay, thesis statement. Now this is indirect. We just wrote a direct one. Okay, topic sentence. One important size. Half of South America, 3.2. Now, when you write your outline, don't write complete sentences. I just copied and pasted because they're actually asked us to write the topic sentence, but you don't need to. Brazil's characteristics. America's characteristics: travel. Many U.S. citizens haven't visited much of their country. Size, travel. Okay, similarity, diversity. Europeans, other ethnic groups, indigenous people, United States, Native Americans, Northern Europe, Africans. Probably should say Europeans. Africans, later immigrants from Mediterranean, Asian and South American. Individualism. Okay. Restate the statement. Although Brazil and the United States have many differences, they also have remarkable similarities in size, ethnic diversity, and core values. Okay. Basically, this is the last thing I want to show you. Okay. Again, this is minor details, but there's kind of an inconsistency. Okay. Take a look at the topic sentence for body paragraph 3, the third similarity. Finally, both countries share an important value. Value. 1. This entire body paragraph is about one value: individualism. Take a look at the restated thesis statement. Read this, 5 seconds. Find an inconsistency. This is summarizing. This is restated thesis statement. So, although Brazil and the United States have many differences, they also have remarkable similarities in their size, body paragraph 1, ethnic diversity, body paragraph 2, body paragraph 3, and core values. Okay, what's up with values? What's up with this? This body paragraph was not about more than one value. It was about one: individualism. So this should be changed because this is misleading. Core value of individualism. All right, cool. All right, see you in class. Sorry. Oh man. This one's 13 minutes long. Okay. So, actually I won't be uploading the direct indirect quote. We could talk about that in class. This is already too long. So, now I think I'm gonna have to upload one more video that's like 3 seconds long. I think I have to upload 2 videos. So I'm just gonna upload a video. It's like literally like 3 seconds long. Anyways, please, if you have any questions anytime about this video in particular, message me on Kako Talk, ask me in class, or like I said, if you have any questions anytime, message me. I love to help you out if you have any questions. So, anyways, adios, amigos and amigas. Have a great weekend, and I will see you on Tuesday. See ya.